they were. Lapadat et al. V. Bondi out of the Ninth Circuit on February 12th, 2025. I went on and on about this case on my show, and no matter what circuit you're in, but certainly the Ninth Circuit, if you have a Roma case, also known as gypsies, not, I guess, derogatorily known as that, but it is the more common name. But if you have a Roma case, this is the case. This is a barn burner of a decision on asylum and the Romas in general. Essentially, these were Romanian Romas from Romania claiming asylum based on how Roma are treated in Romania, and the IJ and the BIA, in essence, denied by relying in large part on these things that the EU is trying to do to combat historic Roma discrimination. But like, as the Ninth Circuit points out, the EU is not a country.
Yeah.
The Lapadats are not getting deported to the EU. They're getting deported to Romania. And so it's not overly important at all what the EU is doing. So that alone is an important holding, because you see that, I've seen that in cases regarding an EU country. They try to point to EU policies, but that is not how asylum works. You focus on the country. And here, quote, discrimination continues to be widespread across the EU and is present in all societies and in all key areas, says the Ninth Circuit. Like many Romani people, they've been mistreated by the police and Romanian public for years because of their ethnicity. Like, this is chock full of quotes about country conditions, factual quotes. I did a LinkedIn post about this actually yesterday, using case law to prove country conditions. What better way to do it, be it for asylum, hardship waivers, cancellation, anything that requires you explain to the adjudicator what's going on in a country. I love relying on circuit decisions saying what's going on in a country, because how do you combat that?
Yeah.
You really, it's very, very difficult. And the Ninth Circuit goes on and on and on. And so, of course, it was remanded for the Lapadats. But also the Ninth Circuit says, look, not only did they suffer past persecution, for example, the male was shot in the back of the head, like the fact that the agency didn't find that to be past persecution is quite crazy. I'm not even going to get into what happened to the wife and the children, but so sent back for that. But also, the Ninth Circuit flat out says, quote, Roma are a disfavored group in Romania, end quote, which is a way to get asylum even if you don't have past persecution. Quote, today's rhetoric against the Roma is very similar to the one used by Nazis before the mass killings started in the 30s and 40s, end quote. My God, what a quote for your cases. For example, if you have Roma in any circuit. So think about Lapadat et al. V. Bondi, February 12th, 2025.
I mean, if they're EU citizens, though, they can't just say, I'm going to move to Germany or something like that. It's just whatever country you have a passport from.
I don't think anybody's an EU citizen. I think you're a Romanian citizen and you have EU privileges. I'm not sure. I don't know how that's worked. I'll admit I've thought about that before as well. But I haven't ever thought deeply about it. I have a feeling that asylum law is not up to date with unique situations like that of the European Union.
Yeah.
It's still country focused, and there are very much still countries in the European Union.
Yeah. I think like you get EU because our clients who get EU visas who say, "Oh, can I get US visa?" So I guess the EU as an entity can give visas for visiting, but the countries issue the passports. You have a German, you're still a national of one country. Yeah. Although you have flexibility to move and get out of it, the laws are written based on country. You're right. You got to move based on what the statute is.
Right. I'm quite certain that the Lapadats are not citizens of Germany, that they're only citizens of Romania,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah.